Nigger psychiatrist, 24-hour, toll-free. White people can call anytime. Nigger psychiatrist. Thank God you're home. We heard you were in jail. My husband's beating me. What can I do? Bitch, buy a gun. Click. Nigger psychiatrist. I'm a secretary. My boss wants to sleep with me. What can I do? Give up the pussy, make the money. Click. Nigger psychiatrist. Nigger. I just wanted to say nigger. Click. I know somebody said, he's obsessed with that word. He's obsessed. God, stop him.
They made quite a bit of money, which was why we felt so betrayed. Because you would think if something made money, then they would want to put some more money in it and see it go on. But it didn't work out that way.
It was at a point in Hollywood's history when the movie-going public was low, a lull. Whites weren't going to films. They got tired of seeing that. They'd rather look at television. There was more invention on television. So the film industry, the film market, began to drop because people weren't going. So they resorted to that secondary market. And once the secondary market got Hollywood some money, got its wind back, so to speak, they then began to establish the status quo, the whatever. They then began to go back to the position of, okay, we've got some money now. We don't need the blacks. We don't need the minorities. We don't need the women. We don't need none of that. We're going to do our thing.
White fantasy films. I love the fantasy, I do. Love Chariots of Fire. I love that film. White people running track, I laugh for 2 weeks. I love that fantasy. Oh, come on, I love the fantasy. I saw Body Heat, white people screwing all night. I love the fantasy. No, I saw Annie, the little white orphan. I loved it. I said, look, somebody killed this little bitch before I do. Tomorrow. No, Annie, I'm killing you tonight. There'll be no tomorrow. I loved, what was that? That was a fantasy. I loved, what was it? The boxer. Rocky, I love that. 1, 2, and 3. I love it. A fantasy. White people do not beat up gray, big, black, wild niggas. They don't do that. Hoping to do Rocky IV, it's serious. He's a swimmer, he swims from here to England. There's a black man in a canoe. Shit, this white man can swim, god damn. Then I saw the fantasy, E.T. It could only happen to white people. You'd fall in love with a long-necked, big-eyed, green, ugly, green little bastard from space. Drag him home, let him sleep with your kids, let him eat up the food, let him try on all the clothes, a little freak, let him drink up everything, let him phone home, beg him to live with you, and you can't live next door to niggas for 5 minutes. The shit is sick and you know it. Oh, come on, give it up. It's some sick stuff. Hollywood, I think, is racist. I've always felt that. I mean, although I'm a part of it, I just think it is. Right from the beginning with Birth of a Nation, which they say is an art and the best film ever made, and I find it insulting and racist. And they gave Lillian Gish, and I know America loves her, an award, old stringy, old white lady, an award, and I just think she should be apologized for being in that movie, because I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a very racist movie. And it should be burned. They lost part of it, but they should find the other part and burn all of it.
They say it's one of the greatest movies of all time, and I hate it. Because when I look at the screen, I couldn't really identify with Red Butler. I was looking at Big Jim, you know, running behind the runaway carriage saying, I's a-coming, Miss Scott, I's a-coming. And, you know, white people, they always have their own identities. And, you know, as they were talking, I would say, my God, don't they realize that this film has the greatest stereotypes of any film? And, you know, it's just very, very bad. It just seems like it should not have to be that way.
He was this standard bearer for blacks in America as our motion picture performer. And we just sort of positioned him there and kept him there.
I had a speech, but I'm not going to make it. When I started in this business, on my first job, I was in concert with one other black man, and he was the shoeshine boy on that lot.
Right. Unity,
That's true.
Unity. That's the one thing that frightens white people is unity between blacks. They don't want us to have anything in common because we like what the favorite dance step is. We can spread that quickly. We all dance the same. It has variations throughout the states, but it's all the same. And if we ever communicate the way we do when we dance, we'll be a problem in America.
And our children, ladies and gentlemen, the team, Michael Jackson, her thing, the Thriller, Ingrid. Ingrid from Immaculate Heart. Mr. Michael Jackson.
When you begin to look at the new technologies that give Hollywood a run for its money, like the music tapes, MTV tapes, you know, you then have to start to understand what's happening. The kids that buy those tapes are black and white, yellow, green, red. I mean, they buy the tapes. Michael Jackson didn't happen because he was just an alien from another country. You have talent, sure, he's black, and all those other things that come into play. Michael Jackson is selling in South Africa. I mean, you know, who buys records in South Africa? The blacks don't have that kind of money to make him a big seller. So something it's gonna come around. As I said, Richard Pryor is one of the biggest box office draw, guaranteed. If you get Richard in a picture, you're guaranteed to make money. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen. Eddie Murphy's first film didn't become an Eddie Murphy film from the outset. He was an adjunct. They didn't use him to raise the money to make the movie. They're doing that now.
The other cultures will use the principles, they understand the principles, they set their goals, and they pursue those goals. They achieve the first one, they set out on the second one. And in blacks, we do great things, you know, and flashy things, and we have great athletes and great musicians. But then we're basically controlled by other cultures. And for example, the black superstar today, to me, is a 1984 Uncle Tom. Because while he's trying to get another contract for an additional $1 million, he's represented totally by white people. So he's not reaching back and bringing in any black lawyers or black accountants or black managers. He's just so happy to be considered an idol within the society. He doesn't understand that in 10 years, all that will happen is that will be broken, and he wouldn't have created anything that would be lasting for his kids or his grandchildren. So until we understand the principle that every other culture seems to understand, we're always going to have to ask someone to do something for us.
Don't forget to register to vote. You know, it's a man's world unless women vote. Are you registered to vote?
And Jesse Jackson running for president. Just think of that. Jesse Jackson. Do you know what will happen if he runs for president? What would actually happen? Dead white people will get out of their graves to go vote. Dawn of the voters. They don't know why, they just have to go. America is not ready for a black president. They're not ready. Come on, they're not even ready for a nigger vice president. Let's be realistic. Which would work, it would be wonderful. A nigger vice president, think about it. Be perfect. That would assure the president wouldn't be assassinated. Oh, ain't nobody gonna shoot with a nigger vice president. There'll be no shooting. President can ride in a convertible all day, all night. There'll be no shooting. Where's the president? He's asleep in the convertible. He's safe.